Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Quakes Exclusive. Coming up on today's show, we'll explain how the Earthquakes managed to pull off a 2-0 win over the Seattle Sounders last week. Plus, we're talking all about Leagues Cup, the inaugural competition amongst MLS and Liga MX teams. The Quakes' first matchup against the Portland Timbers coming up this weekend. We'll break it all down next. Welcome inside of Studio 74 at PayPal Park. Alongside the former Earthquakes midfielder Chris Dangerfield, I'm Kylen Mills. Happy to have you with us. The Heritage Cup is coming home to San Jose after an outstanding performance by the Quakes. They beat the Seattle Sounders 2-0 right here at PayPal Park. It was an outstanding team performance capped off by possibly MLS Goal of the Year by outside back Miguel Trauco. We'll get to that in just a minute, but first, Danger, what did you like most about the Quakes' performance overall in this match?
Well, it's great to win that cup, the Heritage Cup. It's been around for a long time. Ned Zaperko and his guys, they've done a good job, the fans supporting. So that particular trophy goes back to the North American Soccer League days. So on the night, I was a little bit disappointed it didn't go 2-1, so my prediction would have been absolutely perfect. But it's a great win. Playing against the top team, the Sounders, they're second in the Western Conference, just behind St. Louis, but a great club with some very, very good players. I thought the game went to plan for Lucci and the team by getting that early goal on the penalty kick. Shout out to Jack Scahan for his work on creating that opportunity for the foul on Jeremy Ebobisse. And then after that, I thought the Quakes tactically did a good job of just lower blocks, slowing the game down, and then we got the banger.
To your point about tactics, the Earthquakes came out in a 3-5-2 against LAFC last week, and this week they switched back to their signature 4-3-3 formation. In that midfield triangle, Judson, Carlos Gruezo, and Miguel Trauco were paired up for the first time this season. What did you think about the formation switch? Was it successful?
Yeah, it was successful, and you got to give credit here to Lucha Gonzalez and his coaching staff. They're obviously thinking about these games and how can I use the players that are available to get a result. And I thought the 3-5-2 surprised LAFC, and they did a very good job of capitalizing on that and creating chaos in some respect in that midfield area where LAFC can be so dominant and limiting the attack as well. Again, against the Sounders, although they had the 4 at the back, when they're building at the back, there's 3 at the back, and then they move that extra player into the midfield, whether it's Trauco or Capo at times, moving in there to create numbers in the midfield area. The Mexican national team did this against Panama as well. And so very creative by Lucci and his staff to do that. He's using different pieces in there, whether it's been Scahan, Judson gets the start. So he's keeping other teams on their toes, and they've done a fantastic job.
Now, the Quakes were able to break through in the first half. Christian Espinoza bearing one from the spot after Jeremy Ebobisse earned the penalty kick to give the Quakes a 1-0 lead. However, the showstopper was the second goal. I mean, my goodness, every single jaw dropped at PayPal Park when Miguel Trauco buried a volley from outside the 18 straight in off a corner kick that was sent in by Espinoza. I mean, it's hard to even describe that goal, but what did you make of it?
Well, I mean, I thought actually on the TV broadcast, Apple TV, I thought Warren Barton did a good job because he talked about it being one from the training ground. I used to like that line as well, but This was one from the training ground. First of all the credit going to Espinoza once again. Yes, I know it's an assist on a fantastic strike by Miguel Trauco, but he puts it in the right place and he puts it at the right height from a corner kick situation. But after that, it all comes down to Miguel Trauco and his ability and technique. It should be nominated for Goal of the Year in MLS, and I think it's got a chance of being Goal of the Year in MLS because of the technique he uses. And if the players get to vote on MLS Goal of the Year, they will be picking this strike because he's able to hit the ball on the volley, which is such a great technique. You have to get your body in the right position. You have to have your knee and foot over the ball. But that ball didn't dip, it didn't bend, it just went on a rope into the bottom corner. No chance for the goalkeeper. A fantastic set piece, yes, but what a banger from Miguel Trauco. Fantastic.
Now, a big part of that goal was the corner kick sent in by Christian Espinoza. That assist marked his 51st as a San Jose Earthquake, making him the club's sole all-time assist leader. However, this season, Espinoza's not just swinging crosses in, he's scoring goals. He finished his 11th of the season on that PK in the Seattle match. How has Christian Espinoza been able to unlock this new level in his game?
Well, every week we seem to be talking about Christian Espinoza, so it shows you what he's doing week in and week out. And I think that's the key. He's doing it every game in an Earthquake shirt at the moment. And as a designated player, you see players come and go in the Major League Soccer, but at the end of the day, you know, he's a DP that's willing to work for his team. He's willing to track back defensively and also create things offensively. So he's been a fantastic addition to this club. And when he wears the captain armband, which he's done 1 or 2 times now with Jackson Ewell being away, you can see the pride he has in wearing that armband, and he can really feel that he's part of, he enjoys being part of the history of his club now, being the assist leader. So he's a player that continues to get better in an Earthquake shirt. We talked about his assists over the year, and he's been consistent with his assists in year and year out. But this year, he's managed to get a little bit closer to the goal. We talked about it in preseason. And when he gets in those areas, he just wants to shoot. Right foot, left foot. He's a very dangerous player. And even when teams know what he's going to do, they still manages to get either a cross in or get a shot on goal. So all respect to Christian Espinoza. Been fantastic year so far. And he's recognized by being in the MLS All-Star game.
11 goals, 7 assists so far this season for Christian Espinoza, top 8 in the league in goals scored and goal contributions. Is he realistically in the MLS MVP race?
Well, I think he started off being one of those named in that MVP race. He had a little bit of a flat period, and now he's picking it up again. I think it all depends how he finishes. If he continues on this trek right now, I think he'll be one of those names mentioned. There are other players that Hani Mukhtar and others are doing fantastic at the moment, and you have to see Reynoso's back in the league now. You've got Acosta doing very, very well for Cincinnati also. So there are players out there that I think are doing a little bit more than Christian's doing, and their teams are maybe doing a little bit better. But from a personal perspective, I think he's doing very well.
Espinoza now with 11 goals, 7 assists, a top 5 goal scorer in MLS, and top 8 in goal contributions. Now up next for the Earthquakes, the League's Cup. This is going to be a one-of-a-kind competition amongst teams in MLS and Liga MX. Here's what some Quakes players had to say about the upcoming big tournament.
This League's Cup gonna be super fun, super interesting to play. To face the Mexican teams, gonna be really good, not just for the players, just for the leagues too. So gonna be a really good opportunity for us.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, when you welcome a team as storied as Tigres, obviously have won CCL before. They build their roster with a lot of stars, guys that we have respect for, but it's an opportunity for us to show that San Jose belongs in that same conversation. We're in a group with them, the Timbers, who have a lot of success in the league over the years as well. So we're excited to put our best foot forward in front of our fans. We know that a lot of our fans also appreciate Liga MX, and it's time for us to show that we belong in that same conversation and at that same esteem. Yeah, I think anyone who watches soccer and doesn't have a natural affinity for the game is going to complain about ties and how it's underwhelming. So for us to be going into penalty, it adds a little bit of pressure on the players, because we know that you can't just play for a draw and use that to maximize points. You have to either play for a win or understand that you're going to be in a high stakes, intense moment in a penalty shootout. So added level of intensity preparation for us as players, some mind games, some fun, but ultimately another way to get victories and to push on in the tournament. So we're excited.
I think that we can do a great tournament, and it's like one kind of World Cup. We have a stage, and then it's like a playoff games. So it's gonna be really fun.
We expect us to rise to the challenge and really establish San Jose as a force on the international level as well as domestic.
Coming up this weekend, the Earthquakes will take part in their inaugural League's Cup match against the Portland Timbers on the road. Now here's a little bit of background about this competition, the first of its kind. It'll be played between MLS and Liga MX clubs. League's Cup will be a World Cup style competition, meaning it starts with a group stage before moving to a knockout round. Now there is a lot on the line in this competition. League's Cup is officially sanctioned by CONCACAF, and the top 3 teams will receive automatic bids into CONCACAF Champions Cup. Also, let's take a look at the bracket really quick. If the Quakes were to win the group, they'd play the second place team from Group 3. A second place finish for the Quakes, and San Jose would face the winner from Group 2. Now, what does this mean to be able to play these international teams and to get an additional stage during the season where the Quakes can play on?
Well, I think it's what the fans want. I mean, over the years, for many, many years now, the Quakes and other teams, whether it's been NASL or Major League Soccer, have always played friendlies, and they've played against Liga MX teams. They played against Manchester United of the world and everybody else coming in. But now, I think the fans wanted to see a competition where the top MLS teams would play against the top Liga MX teams in something that is meaningful, something when something is on the line. And when you just described that the winners of this, the top 3 can get into CONCACAF Champions League, that's a great opportunity for all the MLS teams, including the Earthquakes, to try and win this competition and have something special for the Earthquakes fans for next year to be part of that CONCACAF Champions League. So what it is, it's not a friendly. I mean, it's a game. It's a real game against a top team, and starting off in Portland, then Tigres at home. They're going to bring in their star players. Once again, it's an opportunity for the Earthquakes to, maybe give some playing time to some of the players that are looking to try and cement themselves for the rest of the MLS season. And I'm sure other teams would do the same. But, when it comes down to it, it's an exciting opportunity for the fans to see the Quakes playing against top teams, but with something on the line.
It all starts on Saturday when the Quakes head to the Portland Timbers for their first Leagues Cup match. Now, Portland's coming off a massive 3-2 win over the Columbus Crew this past weekend. Winger Dyron Espinoza notched his first career brace, and he's a player who's produced for Portland before. 10 goals the last 2 seasons, now possibly could be breaking through. What are you expecting from him and the rest of this Portland attack?
Well, every time we talk about Portland and playing Portland at Providence Park, we always talk about their home field advantage because of their fanatical fan support. I mean, they really do a very good job of making it their home fortress. But after saying that, they have the ability to throw different looks at you up front. Espinoza at the moment is one player that obviously is unformed, but you've also got Blanco, you've got Nizgoda, you've got Mora, you've got the new DP Evander, who's very technically gifted, who plays a little bit off those strikers. But they can play wide and they can play fast. They can put it up front to a big guy like Nizgoda. So they've got a lot of different looks they can throw at you. But I think the key to winning in Portland is winning that midfield battle. Diego Chara in the midfield, tough as nails, and the Quakes need to win the battles in there so they can not allow the Portland Timbers to have domination in possession of the ball.
Now, the last time these two teams met back on June 17th, it was a scoreless draw right here at PayPal Park. With that strong midfield play that Portland has, what they were doing with their back line, how did the Quakes break them down this time around?
Once again, I think it's winning those battles. I think they, it's Gruezo and whoever's going to be in there. I expect Jackson to be back and playing, so hopefully Montero will be fit. So, try and put that top 3 or 4 they're going to put in there. What's Luigi going to do for a start? Is he going to be 3 at the back? Is he going to be 4 at the back? How is he going to approach this game? He seems to be able to get that extra man into the midfield area, and that is key as well, to get numbers around and win those battles in the midfield area. This Portland team, although they just beat Columbus at home 3-2, it was 3-2. They do give up goals. And so I think it's important for the Quakes to be aggressive, as they always do with their style of play, attack defensively, attack their defenders, and get the ball out to Cade on the left, get the ball out to Espinoza as much as we possibly can. But once again, I think the key is to win those battles in the midfield area.
All right, well, maybe that'll lead into your answer to this next question. Who's a player to watch in this match?
Going with Carlos Gruezo because of that. I think he's such a key player in that midfield area. He organizes and makes everybody better in there. But he has to win his battles as well, making sure he knows where Blanco is, making sure that he wins those battles against Chara in the midfield area, and keeping the Earthquakes aggressive in that area all day long.
Another player to watch is winger Cade Cowell, just coming off of playing with the U.S. senior national team in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. He scored his first goal with the senior national team and looked outstanding in the U20 World Cup as well. Cowell's fast, he's physical when he plays with confidence and aggression, and also I like when he drifts a little bit more towards the center of the pitch to where he can receive balls where he can look directly on goal. That's when he's super effective. Can he come in and inject a new layer to the Quakes attack that will allow them to get by Portland? I've got my eye on Cade Cowell to bring that same confidence he brought at the international level into MLS play and going forward the rest of the season. The San Jose Earthquakes play their inaugural Leagues Cup match against the Portland Timbers on Saturday. 7 p.m. Pacific time is kickoff. If you can't be there in person, be sure to watch that on Apple TV's MLS Season Pass. Are we going to be eating celebratory donuts after this one?
I'm thinking donuts could be coming from Portland. I like that idea. I think the Quakes can go in there and they can upset this a Portland team at home. The Quakes are playing with a lot of confidence. Lucci seems to be pulling all the right strings. Let's get a win.
Quakes upset, you heard it here first. That'll do it for us here from Quakes Exclusive. We'll see you next week.